Newton News is brought to you in part by the Village Bank. Your village, your bank.
The New England Paralyzed Veterans of America Bass Trail held their annual Charles River Bass Tournament on Saturday at the Newton Yacht Club. Anglers with disabilities were paired with boaters for a day of competitive fishing. This was an all-day event with the tournament starting at 8 o'clock in the morning and ending at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then came the bass weigh-in and prize presentations, followed by a cookout for all in attendance. And although it's a tournament, it's more about bringing veterans and the disabled community together for a fun day of fishing.
As a whole, is bringing our brothers back who have lost their abilities and some mental dysfunctions and get them back in the reality of life again. A lot of kids went out and did this with their parents when they were just yay high. And it shows them that they can still do it with the help of all our volunteers and all our community comes together, and it's just a very rewarding program.
The New England Paralyzed Veterans of America Bass Trail consists of monthly one-day fishing tournaments throughout New England, although today's tournament was a little extra special, marking 20 years of this event on the Charles River.
Just the camaraderie and the family you grow through the years. I mean, there's plenty of guys that have been here for 20 plus years, and then there's new people coming every year, and that's what we appreciate the most. You know, I just can't go fishing, you know. If there ain't volunteers and boat captains willing to come down there and people like the Newton Yacht Club offering their venues, it don't even happen for us. So, I mean, you have to be very appreciative for everybody that is, you know, putting an effort in to make it possible for us to get out there.
This is a very popular event with many volunteers who just want to do their part in serving our disabled veterans and help them in any way possible to go out and fish in this tournament.
Yeah, they don't get the opportunity to get out on the water on a regular basis, you know, like we do. So they really, really appreciate it. And that's what it's all about, you know, seeing the smiles on their face, you know, when they catch a fish, or whether they catch a fish or not. It's just, any day on the water is just a great day.
Ryan Caveney, Newton News, Newton Corner.
If you are doing some cleaning and are looking to get rid of things you no longer use, or are looking for something new and don't want to break the bank, look no further than the Rumford Avenue Recycling Depot and the Newton Recycling Committee's Swap Shop.
The reason we do it is to minimize the amount of trash and recycling that Newton people throw out. A lot of the stuff that we get rid of is valuable, has great value to somebody, and if we have a system for putting it back into somebody else's hands that can use it.
Recycling Committee Chairman Miles Smith says similar programs and events have been going on in Newton for over a decade. He adds that the swap shop is a win for both city residents and the city government.
The Newton city government realized that we were doing something of great value to the city, both to the residents in terms of getting rid of and getting stuff, and to the budget in terms of reducing the amount of waste that we have to pay to dispose of, or recycling, because the recycling costs as well.
Recycling Committee member and swap shop volunteer Susan Legere says the majority of items brought in are claimed quickly.
We estimate that within one day, we see about 3/4 of what come in go happily off to people who want it.
Legere says last year's swap shop was also a sweeping success.
By the end of last season, we got rid of everything. I think there was like 2 things that we couldn't find.
Smith says he hopes the swap shop can be open even more frequently.
We would love to have this event open 6 days a week, every day that the recycling depot is open, but we just need more volunteers. People who come tend to love it. They have a great time. They get first dibs at good stuff, and they really seem to enjoy the opportunity to help people look through cool stuff.
Legere and Smith say they have enjoyed volunteering from the minute they got involved.
I discovered it by accident. I think I was bringing stuff to the recycling depot the end of last summer, and I immediately wanted to get involved. I just think it's the coolest thing ever.
Almost no one walks away empty-handed, even when you try, and so it's a lot of fun.
Jason Siegel, Newton News, Auburndale. Newton's Recycling Committee held a Fix-It clinic at the Newton Free Library on Saturday to help residents fix broken items, including jewelry and common household appliances. Volunteers came to help other community members fix their broken belongings. Recycling Committee member Susan Legier says it wasn't hard to find volunteers.
We just networked amongst ourselves. I happened to meet our jewelry coach in a professional environment. She's somebody who, for fun, makes jewelry out of recycled materials.
People of all ages stepped up to help. 14-year-old Johnny Litzo says he volunteered because fixing things is his passion.
I just am mechanically minded, so it helps me because I just learn by doing, basically. I've taken apart all my mom's old routers, printers.
Newton resident David Bono came to the event with a broken scale and said he felt welcomed right away.
Came in and said, I need some help with my electronic scale. And they said, oh, the electronic scale, because I'd signed up in advance and they seemed to be ready for me.
Bono was grateful for the help and says he's glad the scale won't go to waste.
And I'm glad I'm not throwing something away that shouldn't be thrown away. I shouldn't have the expense of buying another one when it's a perfectly fine product that should last for years.
Litzo says he enjoyed the day as well.
It's my hobby. I just like to fix stuff, and I thought it would be fun. I'm loving this.
Jason Siegel, Newton News, Newton Center.
Newton Highlands is holding its annual Village Day. The day begins at 10 a.m. with a 5K road race, followed by the festival from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. All kid activities are free. That includes a bounce house, caricatures, and face painting. Plus, enjoy delicious food, enjoy 2 stages of live music, amazing magicians, and more. It's all happening on Lincoln Street in Newton Highlands on Sunday, June 9th. The Newton Farmers Market kicks off its 40th year with Food, Fun, and Farmers, a mega farmers market with food tastings, product raffles, and music. It's happening on Sunday, June 9th from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m., rain or shine, at City Hall, and featuring 50 local farms, restaurants, and food entrepreneurs. The first ever Newton Inaugural Awards ceremony honor those with lifetime excellence in their respective fields through the Newton Universal Legendary Awards and the Newton Entertainment Awards. Come witness some of Newton's best talent while honoring those who are here in Newton and from around the world. The event is happening on Saturday, June 15th from 4 until 7:30 p.m. at Brown Middle School. For more information, visit the address on the screen. The Newton Police Department is holding a gun buyback day on Saturday, June 15th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Second Church on Chestnut Street. Residents may dispose of their unwanted guns and receive a gift card for each one. This is part of the Middlesex Sheriff's Office Safer Homes, Safer Communities project, and since 2013, 11 municipal departments with a total of 20 buybacks resulted in nearly 1,000 unwanted weapons turned in. If you cannot make the Newton location, you may drop off your unwanted gun in Cambridge on June 8th, Watertown on June 22nd, and Arlington on June 29th.
Building on the success of the 2018 Upper Falls Greenway Beyond Boundaries sculpture exhibit, the N Squared Innovation District, along with Studios Without Walls, announced plans for the 2019 Greenway Arts program. This year's theme is Reverberation and will launch with an event on June 13th and feature up to 20 sculptures in conceptual art along the 1 Mile Trail, which runs parallel to Needham Street. The group recently launched a fundraising effort to raise $14,000 by June 1st to ensure the artists are paid fairly for their work, as well as the installation and maintenance of the exhibit. This year promises to be bigger and better than ever. By joining the arts community with local residents and businesses, the N Squared Innovation District initiative aims to activate the Greenway as a gathering point for everyone. More information is available online at the address listed on the screen.
We come from different villages, from different backgrounds, from different faith traditions, and yes, here in Newton, with different opinions on just about everything. And yet, with all that pulls us apart, here we are together, you and me and all of us whose paths have been so varied, we break bread together, sharing a passion to ensure our community truly embraces our core values of respect, diversity, and acceptance. And importantly, breaking bread together, we come to know each other a little bit better and strengthen our ability to listen respectfully to our neighbor and to respond with empathy even when we hold different opinions. For we are neighbors. We live together. We work together. We worship together. We need each other, especially in times of stress and periods of change and in times of mourning. We have had many occasions to mourn together. Since we last broke bread, we have suffered losses as a community. We miss Tony Bibbo and Joan Kunitz, who worked so long and so hard to make the Harmony Foundation and this breakfast a community celebration of all that is good in Newton. We miss Reverend Howard Haywood, who pushed against closed doors and opened so many. We miss Linda Plout, who fostered Newton's pride and through arts and culture gave so many of us so much joy. We miss Marshall Sloan, who lived in Newton, loved Newton, and served Newton and beyond with acts of charity and goodness. A few weeks ago, I went to a joyous birthday celebration for Izzy Arbetter, who turned 94. Izzy lives in Auburndale with his wife of 73 years, Anna, and ran for decades a successful dry cleaning business in the village. Izzy, you should know, was born in Plock, Poland. He was 14 when Germany invaded in 1939. As he was Jewish, he spent his teenage years in ghettos and then concentration camps, including Auschwitz. And yet, Izzy's life here in Newton has been defined by optimism. How can Izzy be optimistic after all he experienced? Because of young people he believes in, young people who are willing to learn the harsh lessons of the past, young people who are leaning in to change the future for the better.
My name is Julia Geller, and I moved to Newton when I was in 5th grade.
My name is Nathan Persampieri, and I have lived in Newton here my entire life.
I think pineapple and pizza were made for each other.
And I've never tried it.
I was raised Jewish.
And I am a Christian.
We both love theater.
We're both Newton Youth Commissioners.
And we care about our
community.
We want to tell you about our individual values.
Our experiences with diversity and inclusion as Newton students.
And our vision for Newton's future. When I was asked to think about my values, I realized that I'm guided by compassion. I like to connect to people, show empathy, and try my best to have an open mind to understand how different people see the world. The 2016 presidential election was historic. As NBC reported, it exposed an America of deep divides. As a response, the Newton Youth Commission organized the Listen event, which brought lots of students together. There were kids from both the Newton high schools, all types of groups, opposing political views, and loads of pizza. Seriously, we ordered 50 large pizzas. That's 2 pizzas for each attendee. We ate, got to know each other, and recounted how our life experiences and backgrounds influenced our opinions. Through our discussion, we came to understand each other and left with friends from all ends of the political spectrum. While the event was a total hit, only about 25 people felt its benefits. However, for those who did attend, The Listen event showed us that engaging with others that hold different perspectives enables us to become more accepting and compassionate, and is one way to unite our community.
The Rotary Club of Newton is proud to sponsor these 3 annual scholarships to graduating seniors, one each from Newton North High School, Newton South High School, and the METCO program. These scholarship recipients have achieved academic excellence, but more importantly, they have demonstrated commitment to their community through a leadership role within either student government, social justice, the arts, athleticism, and volunteerism.
Our first recipient is Ubel Johannes. He is our MEDCO recipient. Come on up, Ubel. He's a member of Newton North MEDCO program. He's mastered navigating the different worlds of Boston and Newton, effectively dealing with peers, adults, cultures, and lifestyles. Through this, he has managed to bridge his 2 communities with pride, respect, and academic and social success. Ubel is proud of his nomination by his teachers who take the school's Leadership in a Diverse Society course, which you already heard about, which recognizes leadership in upperclassmen and discusses tolerance and diversity. He has been involved in the Black Leadership Advisory Council, Dover Legacy Scholars, and Future Business Leaders of America. Through Ubel's leadership in the latter, he is qualified to be part of that organization's National Leadership Conference. Ubel is also involved in organizing Black Culture Day, a full day of presentations and activities for the entire school community. Outside of the classroom, Ubel's resume spans the athletic field, playing football as well as track and field. Within Ubel's Boston community, he is an active member of Save the Harbor, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to restore and protect Boston Harbor. He will be attending Boston College in the fall. Aaron Ju is our Newton North High School recipient. Aaron is described by his guidance counselor as polite, thoughtful, and contemplative. As his impressive transcript will attest, he is an intelligent and conscientious student. Aaron spends much of his time out of the classroom volunteering in the local Chinese community. He's been a long-standing active volunteer at 2 local Chinese language schools and has received multiple awards for his service to the local Chinese community. Aaron is motivated by his desire to give back to the community, which nurtured him as he grew, and he strives to be a role model for the next generation. In addition, Aaron performs with the Greater Boston Chinese Cultural Association's Chinese Music Ensemble. With that group, he has performed in such venues as Jordan Hall and the TD Bank Garden, and has volunteered at events throughout the Greater Boston area, such as the annual Dragon Boat Festival. Aaron will be attending UMass Amherst in the fall. Congratulations, Aaron. And our Newton South recipient is Alex Yude, who is on his way up. And Alex is described as an intelligent young man who has excelled at Newton South. His determination and motivation to challenge himself and to succeed is unmatched. Alex, who has cerebral palsy, has been able to successfully navigate this enormous and challenging school, both physically and academically. Alex is passionate about football and sports. Although his physical disability limits him from playing football, he has been extremely active with the team. He loves to strategize, analyze statistics, and develop plays with the coaches, and is considered an integral part of the Newton South football team. In describing him, he sounds like a future Patriots coach, doesn't he? Alex is a champion for students with disabilities and leads the school's chapter of Best Buddies. He is the manager of the school's unified track team and works tirelessly to advocate for others with disabilities through mentorship, fundraising, and activism. Alex has been a vital member of the Newton South mock trial team, of which he is co-captain. This past year, the team went to the state finals, where Alex was given the essential task of presenting the opening arguments, and they are a successful team like the Patriots. A kind and empathic young man, Alex is always willing to help and advocate for others and is known for creating opportunities which foster inclusion and acceptance of differences. He is truly one of a kind and an inspiration to others. He will be attending a football powerhouse in the fall, the University of Michigan.
We're picking only 2 people each year to say thank you to. But the 2 people with me up here are just exceptional people and really exemplify community service. Mention Sally Brickell's name in Newton and the superlatives start to flow. A fixture in the Newton Public Schools as a PTO president at Cabot, an active parent at Bigelow, and as PTO co-president at Newton South for the last 9 years. Did you hear that? 9 years. Sally graduates her last MPS senior this year. She is a fireball of energy and wholly committed to the mission of the Newton Public Schools. She is the role model of a thoughtful, positive servant leader and community builder who collaborates with staff, administrators, and families. Always in motion, Sally makes good things happen through her keen understanding of the social emotional nature of schools. Sally is reflective, inclusive, and excels at navigating the ebbs and flows inherent in her role. As the founder of the Just Think Expo, now in its 9th year, Sally has created a lasting legacy, connecting families and community resources to help students navigate the challenges of academic stress, peer pressure, and societal expectations in order to stay healthy. For her tireless dedication serving this city and to the ideals of inclusion and community engagement that today's breakfast holds dear, I, Ruth Ann Fuller, on behalf of the residents of Newton, honor Sally Brickell with the 2019 Honorable Theodore D. Mann Community Service Award. And Brian Albano. Brian Albano's bravery, compassion, warm heart, and deeds have had a profound impact on the lives of people across Newton during his 15 years of service in the Newton Fire Department. Assigned as a firefighter at Station 4 in 2004, where he is affectionately known as Bubba, Brian responds with his fellow firefighters with dedication, professionalism, and care to each and every emergency in our city. In 2005, following the death of a firefighter, and just 1 year into his service, Brian founded the Firefighters Children Fund. This fund supports the children of active duty firefighters who have passed away from illness or in the line of duty. As chief fundraiser, Brian has raised over $500,000 to help. And that $500,000 helps children of fallen fighters all across Massachusetts. Brian's fundraising efforts range from fashion shows at Mr. Sid's, and by the way, you've got to go to this. When you hear about it, it's in June. What's the date? 13. June 13. Show up at Mr. Sid's in the evening. It's a blast. To managing 10 runners who receive Boston Marathon bibs annually through the City of Newton's partnership with the Boston Athletic Association. Most recently, Brian spearheaded the effort to raise funds for a water fountain for families and dogs along the marathon route on Com Ave adjacent to City Hall. Brian's unassuming manner conceals his can-do attitude and acts that quietly and meaningfully benefit so many. For his tireless dedication to serving this city and to the ideals of inclusion, compassion, and commitment that today's breakfast holds dear, I, Ruth Ann Fuller, on behalf of the residents of Newton, honor Brian Bubba Albano with the 2019 Teddy Mann Community Service Award. Congrats.
When I drive through Newton, all I see is expensive houses. And I don't know if I could afford Newton or live in Newton. I'm a doctor, I'm a CEO, I have a venture-backed company, and this is unattainable for me. So how about my employees? They can't live here either.
Hiring and retaining employees is absolutely one of our biggest concerns here. Can I say we're having a hiring crisis? Yes, I can comfortably say that our hiring situation is critical at this point.
This is the worst it's ever been for Dungarans. Basically, we're trying so hard to every day figure out how do we find people to come to work in our operations. Work is easy. It's just finding a place to live is really the key.
It's important to have housing that matches market demand so that you can have workers in the region that are near the jobs that are available.
Newton's housing stock right now is so limited that our community is not coming together in the best way that it could. It is a great place to live, it is a great place to grow up, and our young people, unfortunately, when they leave the nest, they're not seeing it as a place that they can ever come back to. Single-family housing that used to be of at a level that a young couple could afford is gone. And I think it's sad for Newton to be losing its daughters and sons.
I wanted to buy the building because I love the neighborhood that it's in. If a restaurant was to come in as my feature tenant, they would most likely have a challenge to find employees that live locally.
It breaks my heart to think some of the people who have worked for me for over 26 years travel 4 hours a day to get here. 2 in, 2 out.
If we were to add housing stock to this region, both workforce housing and affordable housing, the commuting opportunities become greater, whether that's pedestrian, public transportation, scooters, and bicycles. Development needs to be broad enough and diverse enough so that it's inclusive and not directed at one particular income level.
Think of it this way, if Newton doesn't support more residential development, it will not be able to move the needle on commercial development.
I am standing up for providing more opportunities for these families to live in Newton and to provide the great diversity that a community like Newton, a city like Newton, deserves to have.
Massachusetts Breast Cancer Coalition is dedicated to preventing environmental causes of breast cancer. Please join us for our 2019 annual Against the Tide events at DCR's Hopkinton State Park on Saturday, June 15th, and at DCR's Nickerson State Park in Brewster on Saturday, August 17th. Participants can choose to take part in one or more of the following. Competitive choices include a 1-mile swim, USA Track and Field certified 5K or 10K runs, or 5K or 10K aquathons. Recreational choices include 1 or half-mile competitive swims, 3-mile fitness walk, 2-mile kayak, or half-mile paddleboard. All swim and run components are chip timed. Please support MBCC's goals to prevent breast cancer by registering or making a pledge today at mbcc.org/swim.
Just reach in, grab a couple. Vicodin, Perks, Oxy. You're bound to grab something good.
Thanks, bro.
Before I forget, I have some paperwork to go over. Don't worry, it's just a formality.
What'd you say?
This one outlines the general side effects. This one talks specifically about how opioids impact the brain. Here's a list of emergency numbers. Poison control hotline is useful, 911, but you probably already know that number.
Wait, what just happened? When did you change into a suit?
Right, absolutely. Eventually, you're going to turn to heroin. You're going to need a few clean needles for that. It'd be a shame if you contracted HIV or even hepatitis. Oh, and this chart's pretty neat. Look here, it shows how much your addiction will cost over time, both on the drugs and eventually rehab. So I'm just going to need your emergency contact right here. Just sign here, initial here, initial here, initial here, and sign here. By the way, do you have a few more minutes? I got a quick PowerPoint I want to show you.
No, not really.
Don't worry, it'll only take a few minutes. Let me just fire up the projector. As your drug dealer, I want to be sure that you're fully informed so you know exactly what it is you're getting into.
Newton News was brought to you in part by The Village Bank. Your village, your bank.